Writing a personal narrative. Do you know what a personal narrative is? A personal narrative is a true story about something that happened to you. It focuses on small moments in your life. I like to call them mini moments. Personal narratives have a beginning, a middle, and an ending. You heard me mention mini moments. A mini moment is a small part of your day, an event, or your life. Here's an example. If I write about my trip to Hawaii, a mini moment would be when I was swimming and a huge group of sea turtles swam under me. That was a small moment during my whole vacation. It helps to visualize. When you visualize, you create a picture in your mind of the most important parts of your story. Draw images on a storyboard in order to put the events in the right order. Here's one story map. Here's a storyboard. These will help you keep the events of your story in order. When writing a personal narrative, it's really important to have a great opening in order to capture your audience's attention. I call these the potato chip beginnings because once you have one potato chip, you want more, and that's what you want your readers to feel like. They want to read more about your story. There are several different ways that you can do this. One way is to have dialogue, where you can have quotes like this one. Watch out, called my mom from the house. Or you can use onomatopoeia, which is basically just different sounds like bam, wham, ouch. This one I used zap. Zap, I heard the lightning hit the ground. Another way is to have a question. Ask a question right at the start. Have you ever had a day you wish that you stayed home? Or maybe have you ever had a day you wished you stayed in bed? And another way would be to use the setting. Describe the location, especially if it's exciting, or different, or interesting. It was a dark and stormy night on Halloween. Another thing you're going to want to use in your paper are transition words. Transition words are words that help tell your story in the right order. We use transition words and phrases in the body of writing. These words move the reader from the beginning to the middle and to the ending. Here are some examples of beginning transition words. First, in the beginning, it started once upon a time, one morning, soon, to begin with. Here's some examples of what you can use in the body of your writing, which is the middle of your writing. Next, then, later, after, suddenly, secondly, also, another reason. And then the ending words that you can use to transition to help move your readers through the story. Last, finally, in the end, eventually, in conclusion, to sum it up, as a result, or you can see. There are more transition phrases and words, but these are some to help you get started. Also, to have a great personal narrative, you're going to want to have a clever closing. Closings are the last sentence of your paragraph in your writing. A closing is something that makes the reader feel like your story is over. A clever closing can have feeling words, advice for the reader, a surprise, humor, facts, or a question that ends the story. Here are some examples. For feelings, it always makes me smile when, or you could have a closing sentence that says, so now you know you should never touch anything hot. A surprise would be like, in the end, I woke up from my bad dream. Humor, you could say, well, now I know never to tickle a goldfish. Facts. In conclusion, we now know for sure that plants need water to live. Or questions. Have you ever wanted to have your own pet goldfish? The more description that you can add to your writing will help give your writers that visualization. Adjectives are words that describe a noun or a pronoun. Using adjectives in writing helps give the readers visualization when they are reading your story. Here are some adjectives. You can use size, like small, enormous, large, tiny. Colors, sounds, like something was bubbling up. Shapes, like round, oval, square, triangular. Feelings, if you feel something that's hard, bumpy, rough, slimy, something smells gross, or the weather, it was rainy or dark outside. While you're writing, you'll want to remember all of these tips in order to have a great personal narrative. You want to have your potato chip beginning. You want a middle, an end, a clever closing. You want to make sure that you are writing about a mini moment, and all of your sentences should be on the same topic. Make sure you have transition words, adjectives, capitals, and the right punctuation. If you have a hard time thinking of something to write, you can usually use some kind of choice board. Here's one. You could write about playing at recess, something mini moment that happened to you when you got hurt. Here's one for write about an event during a vacation, like I did with the turtles. Here's an example of narrative writing, step by step, what you could do throughout the week to have the very best narrative paper you've ever written in your whole life. First, you're going to list these events. Think of some holidays or celebrations, school activities, something that maybe you learned that was new, like riding a bike, and write them under the events column. You can see that I wrote my birthday, my trip to the park, my trip to Hawaii. Then think about a mini moment that happened during the event. Well, on my birthday, the cake fell. And then I want to think of adjectives. It was messy and I was sad. What feelings did you have? I was sad. Maybe you were happy because they got you another cake. Here's one that I wrote. Remember, your narratives need to be a true story about something that happened to you. Here's one I wrote about my trip to the park. I fell out of a tree was the mini moment that happened at the park. I was hurt. That's the adjectives to describe what happened. I got hurt. The tree was tall, and I kind of thought it was funny afterwards. Feelings, I was scared when I fell. Here's the one that I chose. My trip to Hawaii. Turtles swam under me. Beautiful, scary, cool, wet. And how did I feel? I was excited. I was a little scared too. So that way you can look and you can see that I have 3 different events that I can write about, and I have 3 different mini moments. This is where you're going to want to focus, is on your mini moments. So I'm going to pick turtles swam under me at Hawaii. Next, we're going to want to brainstorm. Turtles swam under me. Around this, I am going to write words, adjectives, or feelings, anything that reminds me of that time that the turtle swam under me. Where was it? It was Hawaii. I was excited. I was scared. How'd they look? They were huge. It was fun. They felt leathery. I was with my family and I was in Maui on vacation. Next, we're going to use a storyboard or a story map to make sure our events stay in the right order. We flew to Hawaii. We went swimming at the ocean. A turtle swam under me. More turtles swam under me. I touched one. I was excited and scared. Now this one's our draft, or what I like to call a sloppy copy. So the sloppy copy is where you're just getting your story out. I'm gonna try to keep it in the right order of events, but you're not going to worry too much about spelling or if you've got all of the things that you have to have in it yet. You want to write it first. So here we go. Living with Turtles would be my title. One time I went on vacation with my family. We were swimming in Maui at the beach. When we were swimming, a turtle swam under me. They are much larger than I imagined. I touched it. More turtles showed up. I could see them eating. One looked right at my face. I was both scared and excited. Pretty good, right? Well, down when I look at the bottom for my checklist, did I have a potato chip beginning? Something that was really exciting to really grab my reader's attention? One time I went on vacation. I think I could do better. How about, do I have transition words? I don't see anything other than one time. That's a transitional phrase, but I wanted to have first, next, then, last, stuff like that in there. How about adjectives? Well, let's see. Do I have anything that describes? I did say they are much larger. That describes, but I think I could do better. Do I have a clever closing? I was both scared and excited. Well, that's not too bad because I do have feeling in it, but I think I can do better. And then the last one, are all my sentences on topic of my one mini moment? Yes, they are. So I put a check there. Now, let's go to Writer's Workshop with our teacher or a friend who can look at our paper and tell us how to make it better. We're going to remember these tips down at the bottom. I wanted to make sure I had a great potato chip beginning so people want to keep reading. So I changed it. Swoosh! I felt something touch my leg. Then I wanted to talk a little bit about how it felt when I touched the turtle. It felt leathery. So I'm going to put this little note in here and a little arrow of where I want to put it. Then I'm going to write the word then, my transition word, and I'm going to put it right here. So it's going to say swoosh, I felt something touch my leg. One time I went on vacation with my family. Then we were swimming in Maui at the beach. I could add more here to the beach. I could say the beautiful beach. When we were swimming, a turtle swam under me. They are much larger than I imagined. And then I want to put in another transition word in there. So I'm going to put the word next. Next, I touched it. More turtles showed up. I could see them eating. I could say exactly what they were eating if I wanted to give more detail. I could see them eating seaweed. Finally, there's another transition word. Finally, one looked right at my face. I was both scared and excited. I always smile when I think of that day. I like that closing a lot better. So once I get all of that in, now it's going to look something more like this. Swoosh, I felt something touch my leg. One time I went on an awesome vacation. Oh, I shouldn't have a D in there, so I'm going to erase that. An awesome vacation with my family. Then we were swimming in Maui at the beach. I could say the beautiful beach. You can always add more during your sloppy copy. Okay? This is the one ready for publishing that we're going to make sure is perfect. They are much larger than I imagined. Next, I touched it. It felt leathery and soft. I added another word in there. More turtles showed up. I could see them eating. Finally, one looked right at my face. I was both scared and excited. I always smile when I think of that day. So now it looks really good, and you're going to make it look like this in order to have it ready to publish. Now let's say that you have your story, it's perfect, ready for publishing. If you wanted to, your teacher might want you to make it into a book. So here's a title page. I put the title up there with my name as the author, and then you might just write 1 or 2 sentences from your published copy onto a page and color and illustrate a picture to go with it. All right, that is the end of our How to Write a Personal Narrative. I hope all of you create the most amazing stories to share with your friends and your family and your teacher. Have fun writing.